I do expect them to be star hunting a little bit or hunting for that type of player.
So what does star hunting mean? I mean, does that mean we should be expecting them to check in on Giannis?
Well, you look at the profile of player, right? Lauri Markkanen, Trey Murphy, like those are guys in their 20s, in the prime of their career.
Right.
You want players that fit the mold of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. That doesn't mean you're not opportunistic if you can get an older type veteran player.
The Pistons, are going to go star hunting this offseason. A couple names, I guess he dropped. I read this. I didn't hear this part. There's Lauri Markkanen and Trey Murphy. Obviously, he's looking to upgrade the power forward position. Check out the Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. I don't knock it. But I think most people still think they need a guard off that wing. Whether the guard, more than likely, you want the guard to be able to create. I think that's one thing that you do want. You want a guard that can create. And whether that's, it doesn't have to be, Kyrie or, if you get Lauri Markkanen, for the most part, you can get a guy like, you can bring a Beasley back, or you can get a guy like Malik Monk, who can be off the bench and, do some things. I mean, you could get a Lauri Markkanen, but the thing about it is, ideally, you get a Lauri Markkanen. Ideally, you want a Malik Beasley back in that lineup where he can defend. He scored in Detroit and he can shoot it. That's ideally what you want. You want a Cade, a Beasley, a Sar Thompson with a Lauri Markkanen, whatever you choose to do with Duren. Whether you go try to get a guy like Walker Kessler or keep Duren or whatever. You try to go get that. You kind of still need that guard that can create on there. You get Lauri Markkanen or Trey Murphy. I think the thing about it, if those are the two names, Trey Murphy kind of brings an aspect that Lauri Markkanen don't bring. And the aspect that he brings is defense. He's more of a natural defender. He can give you time. He can guard threes, twos, probably stay in front of ones, obviously fours. Markkanen give you more of the dynamic scorer, shooter, can attack the basket, bang on you. But I think most Piston fans still think you're going to need a shot creator at the wing position. So whether you're getting Markkanen and you adding him, trying to bring back Malik Monk, Kyrie Irving, still try to get a Devin Booker if you can squeeze that in there. If you do something like that, more than likely Kyrie and Devin Booker with Markkanen or Trey Murphy. With Trey Murphy, more than likely you probably still could keep Trey Murphy, Kyrie, just throwing a name out there, Zavine, DeRozan, whoever, with Duren. But if you get Markkanen and you try to add a Kyrie, Duren gone. For sure, he gone. He absolutely out of there. So, at the end of the day, I mean, they got the draft capital. They got the pieces to the puzzle. They got pieces to get guys. And obviously, they're looking to upgrade the forward position. So, that's something that needed to happen. Maybe they look to get a CJ McCollum. Maybe they look to get a De'Aaron Fox. We'll get just somebody that can create. And by you having more of a consistent shooter at the four, regardless of who it is, and if it's Trey Murphy, another great defender and a great shooter, that kind of give you a little bit of room to be a little bit more lenient if you add another two, or get away with keeping a guy like Duncan Robinson in the lineup. Trey Murphy kind of give you a little bit more, like you upgrade everything over Tobias Harris. Defense, offense, maybe the rebounders are around the same. It's an upgrade. So you go shooter, Cade is a solid scorer. If you bring in another guy that can score and shoot like a Levine or the Book or a Kyrie, at that point you get away with Thompson and you can get away with a guy like Duren in the middle. Now I think that Walker Kessler guy might be a free agent, so Mal, you might want to go consider bringing him in, or maybe you look to get a Clint Capella. Maybe you look elsewhere with somebody that Vujovic would be a free agent. People forget about that. He'll be leaving Boston. They've had a lot of interest in him. Maybe they go out and get Vujovic, try to keep B-Ball Paul, Stu, put Vujovic in the middle. And at that point, if you put a Vujovic in the middle, guess what? Most likely you're going to want to probably going to trade Trey Murphy. Trade for Trey Murphy or a defensive power forward. You got defense at the wings, you know, K, Asar, Murphy. And if you can at least, you know, get a Malik Monk and bring back a Malik Beasley, you in a good position right there. Both of them solid defenders. Beasley locked down. Hopefully Beasley is probably just being, you know, suspended unofficially. That's what I always thought. A year go by and, you know, y'all dragging y'all feet with this and, you know, whatever, right? But if you can bring him back defensively, that's locked. You pretty good. You get a Monk off the bench, you know, if you keep Jenkins, Monk, Stu, Wu. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Ron probably gonna be traded to keep it a bean. That'd be a nice little lineup, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it gotta happen. I think he watched the process, seen the ceiling in this young core. It hasn't been much development offensively from Ron. Ron Hollins didn't play last playoff series with the Knicks. He ain't played this one. So, you know, I know his confidence is wavering. And into his second year. Only 20 years old, but, you know, you start possibly looking at signing trades with Duren. Maybe you try to do something with Book and get Mark Williams and Devin Booker or something. Maybe you try to do a signing trade with Duren and Austin Reeves if he don't want to play next to Luka in LA next year. I mean, it's a lot of options they got. But I think the biggest question, which we kind of got two names with Marketing and Trey Murphy, the next biggest question is, what do you do with Duren? I think he probably most likely gonna stay because him and Cade is tight. You know, most likely he gonna stay. But I think the replacements are Vujovic to be a free agent. They liked Miles Turner. Somebody can stretch the floor. I think that's what they're gonna look at. And then, you know, the next question is, do you upgrade the wing? Do you look for a Monk? Bring up hopefully Beasley here. Do you look to bring two of those back? A Levine, a DeRozan, a Booker. Do you look to get another shot creator at the wing in the backcourt with Cade? You know? Do you look to bring a more of a DN3 guy with Cade next to Cade and move Duncan to the bench? You know, do you look to get a Beasley that can defend and shoot? Somebody in that mode? You get a Monk that can come off the bench and, you know, do what Dennis Schroeder did. Do you look to bring back Schroeder? I mean, it's a lot of questions to be had about how they really can mold this team. So it's a lot of questions how they really can mold it. So it's up to them. But now, you know, Murphy and Marketing being the names, you know, I'm cool with it. So, you know, very interesting. You know, look forward to seeing, you know, what they do. And, you know, Sam's putting it out there. And, you know, at the end of the day, they got to make a move. But I like the two names that they threw out there. Either or. I think you maybe want to, you know, for reasons you can favor Marketing more explosively offensively, more can create his own shot. And if you're going to favor Murphy, he showed that he can get 20 this year. He showed that he can defend. So you got one guy that can be your number one scoring option in Lauri Marketing. You got another guy that's probably a solid second, third option in Trey Murphy, but he defend. It ain't no defensive drop-off. So, you know, very interesting, man. Very interesting names to look at. But, hey, you know, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And the subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Appreciate y'all for, you know, appreciate y'all for tapping in. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist for more videos like this. Peace.